Not a moment does she love Wayne. She looks down through the annals of time and realizes she must maintain her aura of invisibility, her spirit, strong will, her disposition of I will succeed regardless of mountainous hills. She is the backbone. She is the black and bold and beautiful. Her strength personified from birth. She is the matriarch. She is the mother. She is the backbone of the earth. It was just a poem that I had found on the internet. I really feel that it, personified, my mom as far as like her being strong and really being here for us and our family. So, like I said, I would like to thank everybody for coming out today to say farewell to my mother, Brenda Ann. Brenda Ann Allen was born on September 8, 1948 in St. Louis, Missouri. To her beautiful mother, Annabelle, and her mild-mannered father, Franklin. Brenda was the youngest of her children. Brenda was the youngest of children, with her older sister who is here today. Brenda was a spunky little girl, always around her mother and sister, tagging along, interjecting, and voicing her opinion. If you know my mom, you know she was really opinionated and straightforward. The reason my mother was like this was because her mother was like this, as well as her sister. See, my mother always told people the way it was, because not that she wanted to be negative and wanted to, not that she wanted to be, as a youth, me and my friends, many times as a youth, my friends would say, Jay, your mom is always lecturing us. But it was not that she didn't like them or love them. She just wanted them to do right as she wanted for her own children. My mom had a very big heart. She would go out of her way to help her family and others. What I love about my mother the most was her compassion. My mother had a very tender heart. If you told her your problems and your stripes in life, she would wholeheartedly feel your pain and listen. As I got older, and my friends and I once grew up with and started, my friends, as I got older and grew up, the friends started their families and we lost touch. But in this, I realized that my mom and dad had been my best friends all along. I didn't realize this all my rebellious and running the streets ages of my life when I was as of recently. I feel right when I was really getting to enjoy and dawn upon me for doing, and this truly I'm sorry for it. I vow today in front of all you at my mother's graveside that I only be positive and righteous being. I promise the years of you teaching me and instilling me, I will put all that into effect. I will not backslide. I will not get by. I will do what's right. I will honor you in every sense of the word. I will put God first. I will continue to fight for what's right in life. I will make you smile down from heaven with all my good deeds and merit, and I will be noble, strong, and brave. All qualities you know I still possess. And as my mom's energy and love shines as bright as the North Star, I promise to shine back to let her know I am here with her. And everything she has taught me, I will not take for granted. So Mom, this is not the end of the road. This is the beginning of a new journey, a spiritual journey with you and I. Your energy and your love will always be here. Your spirit will always live through all of us. Thank you.
First, I want to thank God for letting me share a space in Brenda's life. I just wanted to write down some top things I want to cover and speak straight from my heart. Brenda and I have been friends since we were 14 years old. And when I say share a space in her life, we were not always together those 40, 60 years, whatever the length of time, but God brought us back together at the right times. And this last time that we were able to share together, this time in life, I saw a glimpse of God and the love that your mother shared in this world. And she taught me things that people assumed that I was teaching them. When I say a glimpse of her love, Brenda had, in her own way, she showed a love for her sons. This is the things that I learned from your mother. She took each one of you and shared the things about you and saw you as individuals. I have 3 brothers, and they were always the boys, but you were individuals, and that I admired about you. She saw the good things. She saw that inner person in each and every one of you. I never heard your mother say anything negative about you. It's always the good things. And you know, she was a busman. Also, and like I shared the other day, I got a lesson. And how she loved her sons and how she also loved her sister as well. Bringing her back was very important to her, but I know you. I know your heart. I know the strength that she saw in you. Her love for fairness, which you mentioned a little earlier, that she didn't care, she didn't believe anybody was better than the other person. And one of the supervisors of the employees constantly beat down on this person verbally. And Brenda went up to him and said, "You don't have to talk to him like that." Change we all have. And I've always, at a younger age, Brenda was the quiet one and never said much. And then one day she told me, she says, "I learned to speak." Whoa, she did that? And so she told him, "I am going to report you to your supervisor." And she followed through. We're on our way to the 9 miles, the Seafowl Market. She stopped and wrote a page of a complaint. That I learned from her. It wasn't just saying, she followed through. And these are the things that I admired about her besides loving her. The day of her death, I sat on my bed and said, "Look at me." And I wish the best, and I know people are going to stay strong and do things.
Let's take another moment of silence for my mother. My mother, who was survived by Khadija, her sister, Saad and Joseph, her grandsons, Sharif, Jamil, Amir, her sons. We gather here today to celebrate her life. We gather here to sing her praise. We gather to remember an extraordinary woman, a loving mother, a good friend, and a caring sister. Above all, she was strong, she was open, she talked to everyone here. She didn't care who you were, she loved. She did say things about people, but she said it out of love, you know. She loved everyone here. And she's a woman who's impacted each and every person here. And this here is testament to how much she loved people. Because we have people who haven't seen her in years that are here today to celebrate her life. As Jamil said, my mom was born in St. Louis in 1948. But she would soon call Pasadena her home. She loved the city. she would talk about Pasadena to anybody who would listen to it. Each and every time she had the opportunity, she was like, "Oh, I wish I was back in Pasadena." She left the city twice. Once in her 20s to gain her independence, only to be summoned back to take care of her mother in her final days. Only now, I can imagine the pain she felt seeing her mom die of cancer. While in his house in Pasadena, she met my father, Clarence. In '77, they got married. She gave birth to me in '78. She thought that, so as I was a baby, she thought that I had jaundice, right? So she took me to the doctor's office, and it turned out the doctor told her that she was feeding me carrots 3 times a day, and it was turning my skin orange. Jamil, who spoke earlier, he was born in '82. And so, as the story goes, it was early one morning, her water broke, and she called my sister, and she was like, "Oh, my water broke, you gotta come with me to the hospital." She ended up driving herself while having contractions to the doctor's office, which is in like the valley, so it's not that close to here. Nurse told her it wasn't that great of an idea. But that's who my mom was. She was tough as nails. She was a tough person. Finally in 1984, my mom's doppelganger was born. Oh, Amir. So Amir was a really complicated pregnancy. My mom or Amir were having any of that. So Amir, to this day, is as strong-willed, as open, and talks as much as my mom. If you want to have a glimpse into my mom, you can definitely see it within Amir. And everyone here knew that she loved her 3 boys, and she loved her grandsons. She would talk about us. So like even last week, I was setting up the arrangements here, and I was just like on the phone with someone, I didn't even know who it was, right? And she's like, like I'm here to talk about my mom, Brenda Ellis. She's like, "Brenda Ellis? Does she have 3 boys?" Yeah, I mean, we were totally her pride and joy. We were totally people that she talked about. Like, I mean, like everyone here, I may not have met you before, but I know that you guys know of me. And I know you know of my sons as well. And so, as an adult, I got to spend, an opportunity with, my mom, and got to see her as, more than my mother. I got to see her as, a human being, and I got to see, like, so much about her. I got to see her laugh. I got to hear her tell stories, whether it was her trip to Jamaica, which was said earlier. You should ask about it. Or the time she was attacked by 3 blue jays. She did so much to make us smile, and every year for my birthday, she'd call me and she'd leave me a message. She would be singing off key, "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday," like every year, like and on my voicemail, I got to keep the last one that she sent me, and I plan on playing it like every year. But that's the kind of person she was. She was carefree. She lived her life. She talked. She could tell you stories about each and every person here. And she loved each and every one of you guys. And watching the interactions between Amir, you, and Mom was just amazing. The way you guys would make jokes, you'd call it country, and you'd say like things, and you guys were like, I mean, I really thought you guys would make like a perfect reality show. And her sayings, she had so many sayings. Like she would tell us all the time, like don't let the elephant step on you, and like too many Indians. It's just like she'd have so many things that she would say to us, like little quips that she had that we remember to this day, and like we use as going forward. I say them to my boys because like she's had that much of an impact on me, and I hope to have that much impact on my children. And she loved you guys very much, aside from Joseph. Like she cared about you. She was so proud of all the things that you were doing in life aside, and seeing you grow. And Joseph, even though she didn't like your attitude all the time, and she was quick to let you know. Jamil, I love like the videos that you captured of her. Like Jamil just the other day sent us a video that he captured where my mom was just bobbing her head, singing to Old Town Road, just kind of like dancing and making noises and stuff like that. She would sing, and she wouldn't care, if she was off tune. She would live her life, but as the way she wanted to live it. And that's one of the things that all of us here can take away from her is that we all have a lot of different things going on in our lives. We have a lot of different struggles and stuff like that. But now is the time, especially after losing such an extraordinary man, woman, to just take that time to to carry on the torch, carry on being a person that's a light for everyone. We'd go out to dinner, and we would all just be sitting there in trance of her stories and just listening to all the things. She was definitely the focal point of our family many, many times. And her openness. She would tell us all when, her boys were doing something that she wanted, that she thought was right, So, like, I dress a little homeless at times, and there was a lot of times where, we'd be like going out to her and I'm wearing shorts, and she would tell me, "You're not going out this house with me with those ashy legs." And I would laugh, but I'd go inside and put some lotion on. I love that my mom was strong. A couple of months ago, when we found out that she had pancreatic cancer, I was pacing around her den, distraught. I mean, it was just an emotional time. We just found out. And I broke down and cried. I cried to her about the cancer. And she told me, she said, "Don't cry. If I see you cry, it'll make me cry." And then she just gave me a big, loving, long hug. She taught us, all of us here, how to be strong, how to be the lighthouse in stormy weathers, to face our fears, our weakness, and our pain, to be strong by simply being strong. I didn't see her break down once. Not once. Not through all the pain. Not through the ER visits. Not through the restless nights. She passed on being strong. Being strong for her sons. Being strong for her grandkids. For her sister. And all of her friends. Where she knew if she was to give up and be hopeless, that all of us would have given up and been hopeless. She was our lighthouse. To her sister Khadija, she loved your dedication. She loved how dedicated and smart you were. To my dad, she respected you. She never wanted to see you struggle. To Asad and Joseph, she loved everything about you. From your curly hair to your academic excellence, she loved it. Jamil, she loved your entrepreneur spirit. Because of that, she saw her mom. Amir, she loved your bravery and your speaking of everybody. You reminded her of herself. Thank you. Okay, if anyone wants to speak, we have plenty of time. If it's not, you don't have to or anything like that. Oh, sure, we have something.
Back then there weren't that many tall girls at the time. Tall, very slender, and she always dressed really well. You can tell by the photos there. And even more recently, she always wore beautiful colors and was well coordinated. But what was most striking about her was her very long ponytail. She always had a pretty ponytail and a beautiful smile and just a gentle, warm, loving way about her. Back then, we were in a club, and we were called the Imperial Teens. And there was like 6 of us, and we were very close, and we would always meet at a friend's house over here in Altadena and plan out different activities. The biggest activity, the largest activity was having parties at her house on Montana and Howard. And they would be in her mother's living room. And the parties back then were called waistline parties. So in order to get in, they would measure the girl's waist and then measure the guy's chest. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And we would make money, and that would pay for some of the food later. And our parents would make chili, and we would have punch. And we would just fill in that living room. And we had a couple of parties there that were really fun. And then we got back together, I think it was about 3 or 4, no, it's even longer, maybe it's 6 years ago. We got back together, all the club members, and had a really good time. I have photos of that. But the last time I saw Brenda was last year when, again, the high school group got together. And she and I weren't ready to leave this party, so she stayed with me. And I was able to take some beautiful pictures of her that I can share with you. And again, she was dressed very pretty colors, peach outfit. But just a very loving woman, very kind, and never said anything bad about anybody. She was just very loving, and I'm gonna miss her.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Aisha Humphrey. I like to say that I was Brenda's first daughter. My mom and Brenda were friends starting in 18 years old or something like that. So basically, I don't know a world that she's not in. I haven't seen her in many years. I've been, off doing my own thing and everything. But something that I like to think about is at her house, growing up with Sharif, Jamil, and Amir, like my brothers. we would have so much fun there. She would make us apple juice mixed with water so she could stretch the apple juice out. We used to have chips and snacks and all kinds of stuff. It was so much fun. And our parents would get together and they would put on like African music and Bob Marley and everything, and we would all dance and all this stuff. And we would also do little skits. Me and Jamil and Sharif, my brother and I, we would all do skits and perform for them. And I came up here to bring this up because I'm just now realizing that that's where my first performances were. Right now, I am a touring singer. I sing for audiences all over the world, and that began at Miss Ellis's house. It began at Brenda's house, performing with my brothers, performing with my parents, performing with Mr. Ellis and everything. So I think she was such a wonderful person. I believe that she is still here with us. She's going to be in all of our hearts. She's going to be here forever. You're going to see her everywhere. The day after we went to spend time with them, a cat came to my house, just a random cat, and just let me pet. And the cat's face was like when Miss Ellis is like not quite sure how she feels about things. That was the cat. And I was like, you know what? I think she just came to visit me as a cat. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share. But I love you all. I know I never got a chance to really meet you two, but grew up with this man. And he's a wonderful person, so I know you guys are wonderful too. So love you.
My name is Lavinia Humphrey, and Brenda and I met at LA State College. I don't know how we ended up together, but it was almost instant. We just seemed to be attracted to each other, and something about her personality and maybe mine, I don't know. I know that she was very, very artistic, and I loved art myself. And so we just clicked, and we always would hang out together and go places together, even during our single time. We had New Year's would come up, and she said, well, where do you want to go? I said, I don't know. She said, well, you want to go to the club? Oh, okay, let's go to the club then. And we go to the club, and usually we wouldn't do anything. We might have one drink or none. And we just sit there all night, until New Year's came and we go back home. It was really crazy. And then, we would just, I don't know, we were friends for so long, it was almost like we were sisters, I would drive out to Pasadena, and I got married, first time I got married, and at our reception, I think that's when she met her first husband, Clarence. And they saw each other and they clicked, and that was it. They ended up getting married, and then both of us went through having children at the same time, and all our kids were born around the same years and everything. And we would go on trips together. We would eat at their house, and we were just talking to Jamil and Sharif about that the other day. It was almost like every day one of us would be at each other's house. All of a sudden there'd be the doorbell ring, or the garage would be up, and they'd come to the garage, and we'd start cooking, putting stuff on the grill or whatever, watching movies, and the kids would be off doing what they did, and we would be talking and just, making up trips that we wanted to go on. I remember we went to, I think that was Lake Mead. We rented a boat. That was just wonderful. We spent like 3 days on this boat. Just, all the husbands and the wives and stuff, and it was just great. She used to help me because I used to teach, and she would help me make things for my classroom. We would stay up all night long drawing all my ABC alphabets and going to possibly draw all these pictures to go with them. And I just, she was my best friend for so many years. And then, there was a lapse in our seeing each other. And, but I would always call her at least, once a year, once every 3 or 4 months or whatever, just to see how she was doing. And this last time when I called her basically because I had this dream. It's like all of a sudden her face came to me in this dream, and she really didn't even look like herself. She had such a pained look on her face and kind of drawn as if, something was wrong. And so I meant to call her, and I didn't call her. And my daughter, she called me, she says, Miss Ellis is really sick. I said, oh my God. I said, well, maybe, I guess my dream. And so I called Brenda, or prior to talking to me, then I called Brenda. And I told her I had this dream, and before I could get it finished, she said, well, was I sick in the dream? I said, well, yeah, you were. She said, well, yeah, I am sick. You know, but we talked after that as if nothing was wrong, you know. She was still full of life and telling me about Assad and about Jabil and Sharif and Amir and where you were and what you were doing. And I mean, we talked just like there was nothing wrong with her, you know, but she was always on my heart, always on my heart. So she was such a wonderful person, and I'm gonna miss her. You know, when I went to the house the other day, we met up. You know, it was like brought back so many memories. Every room in that house, you know, just brought back memories of seeing the kids when they were little, with Amir running around, he was little with a diaper on and stuff. I don't know, but I just pray that all of you had her touch your life as much as she's touched mine, and I know she did. Yeah, she was very, very forward with whatever she wanted to say, but I was, you know, used to her. That was no big deal to me, but anyway, I want you to come up. So, and I never got a chance to meet this one right here. Is this your name? Yeah, I didn't get a chance to meet you, but I did meet Assad, and he was real well. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to be
high school with Floyd, and I was so happy to hear from Amir. I never met you. So when he called me, he told me he had found my number in his mother's phone book, and I was really surprised about that, because we hadn't talked in over a decade, I would say. But we were friends in high school for a short time, really close friends. We went out together. We would complain about our mothers, because we had really strict mothers, and there wasn't much we could do because we had to be home by 10 o'clock. So what would happen was we'd go out and just, you know, I think we went to a couple parties together, something like that. But for me, I was attracted to Brenda in school because to me she was cool. She was like my own, that we were more alike than I ever used to be. So the last time I saw Brenda, we didn't talk about anything except for what was going on in the world at that time. Because I was always a person who was real conscious about politics and things like that. So we had that conversation, and it was nice. But I was always attracted to Brenda because of not only her coolness, but her beauty. And I remember her in those two pictures right there. That was the time in life that I shared with her. And I thank the Lord, and I know that your mom her spirit will be with you. You know, she will always be with you. And she might come around you at light, but she'll never leave you. So I'm so happy to be here today and be a part of the service and ceremony. And I really enjoyed listening to everybody talk about Brenda. And I know we'll always remember her as a beautiful girl with long, beautiful hair.
Coming out today. Just to give you guys a little bit of history. Mother, which was our grandmother, was her service was held right here too. So like the same exact place where her grandmother was buried is just like, you know, beautiful. I mean, like, it's just crazy how in life everything comes full circle. Like, even from me getting married and living right on Montana Street where she grew up at, it's like sharing this moment with everybody, and like it's truly an honor to be here with all you and share this, you know, this piece, you know, that my mother would want us to all share together, because and I know like we all care about each other. This is the reason why we're here today. So I just want to say thank you for everybody coming out today and just sharing this blessing, because my mom meant something to everyone. To my brothers, to her friends, to her sisters, to her grandchildren, even to her ex-husband. You know what I mean? So it's like, just for us all to come out today and just share this moment is to speak about her and all the good qualities and the times we shared together and everything. And I was a little emotional earlier, but I wanted to share this one story about me and my mom. Like when I knew me and her clicked and like we was on the same wavelength. Like we used to have we used to do like a paper route together in the morning. Like my dad was doing like an extra like little paper route. Let me get the story out before he comes back to it. Yeah, so we were doing a paper route in the morning, and one morning my dad, he had to work another job. So me and my mom was like, all right, we're gonna take over the paper route. So we took this paper route together, and we started delivering the papers and all that. It came to about like 10, 11 a.m. in the morning, and we were still delivering papers. Me and my mom, we looked at each other, we were like, no, we can't do this no more. We gotta go. We gotta get money at different means, And that was that time, like I really feel like me and my mom was in sync, So I mean, like I know we all share the common likeness with our parents, and like I was just telling my aunt the other day, because I was feeling down, I was feeling sad, but then it dawned upon me that when I look in reflection, my mother is a part of me. So it's like I'm her, like of course with my father and stuff like that. It's just like she's always here, the day, the air, and especially with them. Thank you for everyone for coming out today. Like I love every single one of you for being here with us today, for us being here together and just sharing this life. Their legacy and their love will continue to strive and thrive within our hearts. So it's on us to keep their hope and do. So, like I said, I'm thankful for everybody, and at this time, I believe we're gonna move her casket to the burial site. So thank you, and Mom, I love you, and I love all of you. Thank you.
Everyone walk behind the casket, please. On the other side, all of them.
Yeah. She left her home. Oh.